Hello everyone, I am Snigdha Kakkad and this is my channel Accelerate AI Careers. Today I'm going to discuss a very interesting lead code hard level problem, lead code 472, concatenated words. It has been an all-time favorite for several fan companies as well as other companies such as Salesforce in their interview rounds in last 1 month. So let's see what does this question say and why is it a hard level? I would say that it's not really a hard level question. If you know how to solve it, you can do it in very less time, and the most important thing about this question is that even the brute force solution for this question is accepted. So let's see what does this question say. You have been given an array of strings, which is words, without duplicates. So there are no duplicates there. And you have to return all the concatenated words in this given list of words. So it could be that there are other words in the same string array words, which are combinations of some of the words from the same array. A concatenated word is defined as a string that is comprised entirely of at least two shorter words, not necessarily distinct in the given array. So, for example, you have this array cat, cats, cats, dog, dog, cats, dog, hippopotamuses, rat, rat, cat, dog, cat. So, you have to return an array of all those words which are concatenated forms of some other words. So, like this word cats, dog, cats is a concatenation of cats and dog. So, it can be formed using these two words and hence it is returned in the output. Similarly, dog, cats, dog again is a concatenation of these two words. And then rat, cat, dog, cat is again a concatenation of cat, dog, and rat. So hence it's been returned as a noun. Now, how do we solve this question? So like I mentioned, even the brute force approach for this question will work, but you would ask me, what is the brute force approach? So the brute force approach for this question is that you have a big decision tree, right? And in that decision tree, you check for each word. For example, you check whether you include cat word or you exclude it. Every time you come across a word, you either include it or exclude it. For example, cats included or excluded. And based on that, you will have two decisions to make. Every time you will make two decisions, and based on that, you will have an output. Say, for example, I include cat word. So I'll have another word cat, but then I also think of including cats. So I'll have a word cat, cats. But say, suppose I choose to include cat, but I choose to exclude cats. In that case, I'll have a subword called cat. Say, suppose another word where I choose to include cat, but I choose to exclude cats but include dog. Then this would be the combination. Same way, I will have a big decision tree where I start from the root node and I'll keep track of all the possible combinations I can have as concatenated strings and I make an array out of it. So that those possible combinations, how many could there be? Suppose length of this words array is n. Since every time you have to make two decisions whether to include it or exclude it, you have only two choices, and there are words in that string, in that array. So then the total number of decisions you will be making would be 2 raised to power n, and that would be your time complexity for your brute force approach. Can you do better than this? So yeah, there's one more approach which you can take, which is slightly better than this brute force approach, lesser time complexity, but not that optimum. What you can do is you can pick up words from this list, what has been given to you, and then you can check whether that particular word has the starting word or prefix available in the list. Say, suppose cats, dog, cats. You pick up cat and you check, oh yes, cat is there. Then you check for the next substring, next word, s dog, cats, and see if that is part of the string array. So in such a scenario, you will essentially be checking for the substring's presence in the string array. But the string array could be 4,000 words long. So basically, the time complexity in such a scenario will not be 2 raised to power n, but the n could be 4,000. So the time complexity could be O of n or O of 4,000. Can you do better than this? So to make it even better, you would take the word from the string, and instead of checking its presence in the entire array, you will first convert that array to a hash set, because retrieval from a hash set is O of one time complexity, right? So that is the first thing you would do. And then in your words like cats, dog, cats, when you're checking, you would take prefix and suffix for every index I. Say suppose my index I is 1, then in that case my prefix would be CA and my suffix would be TS dog cats. So for every index I in that word, you would take a prefix and suffix, and you would check for presence of that prefix in the array or the hash set with O1 time complexity since it's an hash set, and then you would check the presence of suffix in that hash set. But if say suppose the suffix is not present, then also it can be a concatenated form, right? For example, here cat is present here, but S dog cats is not present. But still it is a concatenated form, right? So you would still move your index I, you would check cats. Cats is present here, then dog cats is not here. But then dog is there and cats is there. So to check such scenarios, you would also check if that suffix can be broken down into substrings, which are concatenated form of strings present in the word. So since retrieval from hash set is O1 type complexity, you would move that I index in your word, and then you would keep on checking for every substring whether that is a part of that string array or not. If it is, that can be checked from the hash set. If it is, then you can return true that yes, it is a part, and then you can include it in your output. If it is not a part, you will keep on moving until you reach the end of the string, and you can conclude whether it is the concatenated form or not. If it is not, then you can exclude it from your research array. So let's try solving this question and see using the brute force approach. This is slightly better than the brute force approach, but still we have even more optimal solutions. So I will explain them as well. Let's code this first. Okay. So I'll first write my word set, which would be the set form of words. After that, I will write my DFS function, and my DFS function will have word passed through it. And I'm not passing any index I because I will be defining that index I here in my DFS function itself. And then I will also have a result array which will be blank in the beginning. And what I will do, I will check for each word in words. I will check if their DFS word is true. If it is true, then result.append word. And finally, I will return the result. So that's how I return the result. Now in my DFS word function, what do I need to do? So my first for loop would be for index I in range length of word, but then you would say empty string will also be a part of it because the index I can take 0 as well. But I don't want that. In that manner, if I'll have I starting from 0, I'll always have the same word returned. So instead of starting from 0th index, I'm starting from first index. So for index in range 1 to length of word, I will define my prefix. My prefix would be word till I, and my suffix would be word I. So that way, now what would be the conditions when my DFS function will return true? So if either my prefix is in word set and my suffix is also in the word set. This is the simplistic situation. When both are there in your word set, then it is for sure true, and you can add it to your results. But say suppose your suffix is not in the word set. In such a scenario, prefix is there in word set and DFS suffix is true. Because if your DFS suffix is true, that means your suffix can be broken down into smaller substrings which are there in the array. That then also you should return true. So in both the situations you return true. So let's submit this solution first, and then I can optimize this solution more to get better results. So let's run it. So it's accepted. Let's submit. So it says time limit exceeded. So can we do better? Let's see. Now let's add caching to this question. So to add caching, I will initialize my DP dictionary. So my DP is initialized here. I also added here if word is in DP, then return DP word, because if you have already assessed whether this word is concatenated form of different words or not, then it will be saved in this DP matrix where key would be the word and value would be either true or false. So I have added that here. And instead of returning true here, I would be returning DP word, and I would update DP word true if the conditions are met. But if the conditions are not met, in such a scenario, I will update DP word as false and I will return DP word. That's my entire code. And now, if you see, I made very minor changes. I initialized the cache, and then I checked if my word is already assessed and is there in the cache, and retrieved the result. If it is not there, then I checked for in the for loop, I checked for the conditions. If the conditions are met, I updated the DP word and returned the DP word, either by true if the conditions are met, or by false if the conditions are not met. So let's run it. It's accepted. Let's submit. As you can see, our solution is doing well here, better than before. So that's the entire coding part of it. Now comes the most difficult aspect, which is computing the time complexity for this question. And that took me a lot of time. I hope no one asks you in examination or in your interview round that what is the time complexity of such a question. But if they ask, let me explain it. So say suppose the number of words given to you in the words array is n. You know that you are going through all those words. So at least you are going through n words. Now say suppose the longest word given to you is of length l. So this is the length of your longest word. And you are going through the entire word index by index, right? So you're going through those n characters, right? At least once. Now you know that in your DFS, you are also applying prefix and suffix, and that operation itself takes time. And you are slicing them. So essentially, it's n square here, because you are going through each index and then you are creating a prefix and suffix, which takes time. But here, when you are doing suffix, you are also calling DFS on suffix. So it's like loop within loop. So you are basically using a nested loop for suffix, and that nested loop might have even more checks and balances, because the suffix word itself might not have one prefix and one suffix. Its suffix also might have some subsets. So that's why this is not L into N, but it's N into N drift square. So basically, total number of words in words array n multiplied by n raised to power 4. But this is before you applied cache. When you applied cache, at that time, the retrieval doesn't take time. The retrieval checks if the word is already assessed, it is in the DP, which is O of one time complexity, and then it retrieves it. So instead of n raised to power 4, it's n raised to power 3 in case you use caching. And that's your time complexity here. I hope this solution was helpful, and if that's true, please subscribe to my channel Accelerate AI Careers for your daily lead code videos. If you're preparing for interviews and you are stuck at some questions, mention them in the comments here. I'll be happy to take them further. If you like my way of solving problems, subscribe to my channel to get your notifications for your daily lead code challenge. Thank you.